y'all doing well. I want to show you a quick video here about articles or artículos in Spanish, and we'll just go through some examples, and if you have any questions you can ask me in class. So here's a document I made for you earlier. At the top here we see los artículos en español, the articles in Spanish. Basically, as I've told you in class, an article, very simply put, just allows us to be very specific, which would be defining for the definite, or if we want to be more general, we would say indefinite. So those are key words that I would use to allow us to be able to think about articles and what they do for the language, being more specific or more general, not as specific. So we'll go ahead and jump into this, and hopefully it makes sense. So first thing to do is, as we look at this, we see there's a singular column right here, and there's two sides. There's a masculine, and then there's also a feminine. And then if we go over here as well, there's a plural column, and there's a masculine and a feminine side. And as you see, the masculine would be los, and then also unos right here. And over here, masculine would be el and un. Feminine would be la and una. Feminine would be las and unas. And to the right, I have the translation. So el and la is translated as the or the, whatever you prefer. And los and las is translated as the. Un and una is translated as a or an. And unos and unas is translated as some or a few. So we'll go ahead and just jump into this, do some examples, and if you have questions, and you can ask me in class after the video. So for the notebook, we have to first determine if this word is masculine or feminine. We know cuaderno ends with an O. And this isn't always the case, but the majority of the time, if a noun or a word ends with an O, it's probably going to be masculine. And if a word ends with A, it's probably most of the time going to be feminine. There are some times that it's not the case, but the majority of the time that is the case. So first off, the notebook, we have to ask ourselves, is there more than one? In this case, there's not, so we know it's going to be in the singular column. So our options are going to be el, la, un, or una. And then we ask ourselves the second question for the notebook. Is it masculine or feminine? We know this is going to be masculine. And so it's going to be the masculine side, singular, and it's very specific, the particular notebook. So we're going to say for this one, el cuaderno, the notebook. On this one, there's only one notebook as well. This is more general, a notebook. So we go to the singular side, masculine. It is right here, un cuaderno. If we were to go to here, we know this is going to be plural, the notebooks, ending with an S. So then we will say plural column here, masculine, and we're being very specific with it being the. So los would be the article use, and we add a S just like we did in English here to let people know that this is plural, and this would let us know it's plural as well, los cuadernos. And then finally we look at this one. This is more general, a few or some, any way you want to translate that. We would translate that as the plural, masculine, more general, and definite, unos cuadernos. So that's the first general rule. Let's go ahead and do another one really quick and see if you can follow what I'm talking about here. Let's use the word a whiteboard here. And the word for whiteboard is pizarra. First thing I do is I look at this last letter, and as stated earlier, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's going to be feminine if it ends with an A. So sure enough, la pizarra. It's going to be feminine. First thing we do is we look at this and we ask ourselves, is there more than one whiteboard? In this case, there's not, because there's no S at the end. So we know it's in the singular side. And then we ask, is it feminine or masculine? We know it's feminine. So it'll be either la or una. Is this general or specific? And this is more general. So we're then going to say una. Well, autocorrect here. There we go. Una pizarra, a whiteboard. For the whiteboard, that's going to be more specific. So we're going to go singular. There's only one. And then we go feminine because it's pizarra. And this is more specific, so it's going to be la pizarra. The whiteboards, we know there's more than one, so we're going to go to the plural side, and it's very specific because it's the right here, so we're going to go to the definite feminine, and there we have las, just like we did with the other one. Cuadernos, we add an S to this one, las pizarras, the whiteboards. Same thing here, we go to the plural, feminine, more general, unas, well, unas pizarras. All right, we'll do a couple more here, and then if you guys have questions, you can ask me in class. I'm going to show you two exceptions here, so we can start to think through this a little bit deeper. Every once in a while we'll encounter a word where we don't really know. It doesn't end with an O and it doesn't end with an A. So we have to just know what the word is as far as if it's masculine or feminine. You just look at the book and kind of tell. So the word class in Spanish is la clase. So this is feminine. You just got to memorize it. Most of the time you look at an E and you go, is that masculine or feminine? Well, you just got to know it. You just got to memorize it, and the book will show you if it's masculine or feminine. So you just got to look at that and recognize it. So this is only one classroom. We're going to go to the singular column. It's going to be more specific, so it's going to be la right here. La clase. A classroom or a class is going to be una clase. A few classrooms would be unas clases, and then finally the classrooms, since it's feminine, will be las clases right here. Again, same thing here applies with the plural, adding an S. Okay, this is a specific word I wanted to bring up because every once in a while a word will end with an E, and we just have to know what that word is. I'll give you guys another example, like la clase, the classroom, but then if you look at the word pupitre, which is a student desk, is still ending with an E, but this one's masculine. So there's not a ton of these in Spanish, but you just have to memorize if it's masculine or feminine. We'll show you one more thing, and then we'll close this one out. The final one I want to bring up is paper. So the word paper in Spanish is papel. Very similar here. We have to know if it's masculine or feminine just by looking at the book. Alright, this one ends with an L, so there's no indicator for us like there is if it ends with O or A. So this is actually going to be a masculine word. It's just the way they do it in Spanish. El papel, the paper. So this is one paper. We use the masculine form. Un papel, a paper. The papers. Now here's where I want to show you. Since there's more than one, we say los papel, but in this case, since it ends with a consonant, an L, we can't just put an S right here. In Spanish, you have to add ES for it to be able to become a plural noun. So los papeles would be the papers. Same here. Unos papeles. And then the last one is un papel, a paper. I'm sorry. This would be the paper, so it's el papel. There you go. So I hope this made sense to you, and if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them in class. Good luck.